Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. That's Lower Alabama for you folks out there on Facebook that are looking at LA. They think it's Los Angeles, California, but it's Lower Alabama. And we appreciate all of you watching today, wherever you're watching from, either locally right here on Channel 2 or across the Wiregrass and across about an 8 to 10 county area of southeast Alabama. They call it the Wiregrass. And of course on your Facebook across the country. I watched 5 different episodes of our show just yesterday. It's wonderful what you can do on Facebook, whether you like my show or you don't like my show. If you saw something you liked, you could call your friend out in California and he can go to TV52studios.com and see every episode of Today in LA. Hope you're doing well today. Troy hits the field today. Troy hits the field today, and that means the Trojans of Troy. Troy University hits the field for their first time and now getting ready to go up against what a guy told me yesterday was the 14th ranked Boise State. And, of course, there are different polls, and one poll had them 20th, but he said he saw a poll yesterday. And I think he saw our buddy's magazine. I think he had us ranked 14th. So we'll be talking more about that as the day goes on. Good picture in the paper today, the Messenger today, and of course if you don't take the Messenger, you're missing out on a lot of things that goes on in our community. But the families of 2 former Trojans who died in separate automobile accidents, Nathan Harris and Corey McCullers, were given a 2017 Sun Belt Championship ring at Troy by Troy head football coach Neil Brown. Above, Nathan Harris was killed in a motorcycle accident on April of 2016, and then Corey McCullers was killed in an automobile accident in 2015. What a wonderful gesture on the part of Coach Neil Brown to honor these young men in such a way. And of course there's a great picture of both of them in the paper today, and it was Miss Harris was talking about what a big surprise it was to hear from Coach Brown, and said we are very thankful to Coach Brown thought enough of Nathan to send that to him and or to us, and it meant so much to us. And Mary Lou McCullers, mother of Corey McCullers of Wetumpka, made her way up to Troy for the annual T-Day game this spring. Corey would have been a senior this year, and her emotions were really high while at the game. She was pulled away by football secretary Judy Morgan. Miss Judy, at the end of the T-Day, said, "I have something I want to give you, and it's going in the mail to you." McCullough said, "We walked with her to the office, and having no idea of what it was, it was an envelope that Judy suggested she open somewhere else. She told me it's going to make me cry." And it's making me cry. Judy, you're making everybody cry. I told her, "Mrs. Judy, this would have been his senior year, and I've been crying all week anyway." So we opened the envelope right there and pulled out the card and saw the box in there. And he wanted a ring while he was there at Troy, knowing my son felt how he felt about that and about Troy, and that how thoughtful enough of him, Coach Brown, to give my son a ring. Carol Harris thought she had to work that night. The ring came in the mail. When it turned out she didn't, she was happy with the opportunity to cherish the ring. And very sad to read about that. But and of course, you look at these two young faces, beautiful kids that lost their lives. One in a motorcycle wreck and another in a car wreck. And I remember when McCullers was killed on Highway 231, and I remember this young man, Nathan Harris. And I'm not very tough, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to something like this. And you know, I'm a pretty tough guy, but hey, this will hit your heart. Read the paper today, and I'm not telling you that I want you to cry. But that's what life's about. And hey, big boys do cry, believe you me. Especially when you're talking about the lives of two young people that are no longer with us in person, but they're in our lives, I promise you. Future Trojans present $1,000 to Troy Miracle League. And I can tell you to cry this morning. Brantley High Star. Good morning. You on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Good morning.
Mike, I'm having a hard time. The messengers got me crying this morning over you know, Nathan Harris, the kid that was killed in the motorcycle accident, and Corey McCullers, the young man, the center who was going to probably start for Troy a couple of years ago, was killed in a car accident. And Coach Brown, only Coach Brown could do stuff like this. We talk about.
Yeah, we talked about this on the show 2 weeks ago. He gave both of them.
I know that, but it actually happened yesterday. So, it just touched my heart.
I thought he mailed championship rings to parents.
No, it turned out that she ended up getting it another way. So, but now I'm looking at Future Trojan presents $1,000 to the Miracle League. Brantley High Star, Troy University softball signee, and Alabama Gatorade Player of the Year, Leanna Johnson, that's that great softball pitcher from Brantley, presented a check for $1,000 to the Troy Miracle League Wednesday, joining Leanna and the Trojan Miracle League athletes from left to right was Kendall Eaton, Sheldon Sanders, and Austin Turner. But upon the learning this summer that she was selected as the Alabama Gatorade Player of the Year, we're talking about Leanna Johnson, the pitcher from Brantley, Mike, that's so good, did not hesitate when asked who she wanted to present a sizable donation on behalf of Gatorade. Wednesday afternoon, the fast pitch state record holder, and she was a fast pitch state record holder for the state of Alabama, Mike, presented a check to $1,000 to athletes of the Troy Miracle League, an organization Johnson looks forward to volunteering with as an incoming freshman at Troy and Lady Trojan for Troy University. I'm going to be in school here in the fall, and I thought it would be a nice place to donate some of this money that I was able to get through Gatorade, and I thought that was a wonderful gesture on her part. And of course, she was the Brantley Star athlete who gave back to Troy even before she gets here. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Now, of course, she's a pitcher on the Brantley High School softball team. And here it is. She's 5'7" tall. She's a senior right-handed pitcher that led the Brantley Bulldogs to a 53-4 record, and also to the Class 1A state championship this past season. Johnson compiled a 48-4 record and a 0.45 ERA, along with a .37 or actually 374 batting average, 7 home runs, 43 RBIs. She struck out, listen to this, Mike. She struck out 536 batters in 265 innings. So she averaged more than 2 strikeouts per inning. Johnson also threw 15 no-hitters in 2008, a state record, 5 for perfect games. She pitched 5 perfect games and 31 shutouts, which was second best ever in Alabama. The most outstanding player in the state tournament, Johnson had been named the number one pitcher in the state of Alabama. And that's a lot of folks, Mike, playing softball.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, the instant replay has been passed, Mike. The Alabama High School Athletic Association
I only think certain schools are doing it.
All right, Goshen is going to do it. It says, I think it's something that is good to Goshen head coach Bart Snyder. It's just, I don't know if everybody will be able to use it this year, but it looks like that Goshen is going to use it this year. So I think that's good. But it could.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you just hope it doesn't delay the game and make games longer. And
it's going to probably cost a little extra money. You're going to have to pay more officials and those type things.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to have somebody in charge of I guess, official looking at the instant replay, I would imagine.
Yeah. For those of you who are...
I would imagine, I mean, nothing against high school referees, but I would imagine there's lots more missed calls in high school than in college, I would say.
I would too. Of course, our show this morning...
I wonder if you could do judge spotting the ball. I always want spotting the ball.
Yeah, you're right. It's very important how you spot the ball.
When you're especially on the road and you had, somebody maybe close to the program, or maybe the referees for the home team. That was amazing how a guy's knee would get two more yards than he was supposed to get.
Yeah. Well, the key to me in spotting the ball is you need to give the runner the where the actual ball went. If the tip of the ball went in front of the runner, that's where you should spot it.
Well, we were down in Eufaula one night calling a game, and man, their officials were awful.
Yeah. Well, that area over there around Valley is not a very well as far as the officiating, they don't get high accolades. Of course, want to mention Troy University one more time. It's hit the field. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if I showed a little emotion, but this was you see these kids.
That's made national media.
Yeah.
It's been all over the country for a couple of weeks.
I know it. And another thing about it, the pictures are in the paper today, and they're big pictures of these young men. And well, let me see if I can find them. I don't handle newspapers very well.
Corey McCullers and Nathan Harris, picture.
Yeah, and of course these are the young men. What, two handsome guys too. And of course this is Harris, and this right here, and this is McCullers right here. Both rising stars for Troy, and went out and were killed in accidents. So, but you know what? They're with the Lord Jesus Christ in paradise right now. There's no need for me to cry, anybody else to cry. They're in heaven, and they're with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you hate for any parents to have to bury their kids. That's something you just don't want to have to happen in life.
Well, I tell you, we've talked about Coach Brown not only being a very good football coach, but he's also does everything else well. I had so many people this spring to tell me how impressed they were with him off the field. And there's also a great picture of that ring, Mike, in the Messenger too. And it was beautiful, beautiful ring. And of course now both those families have those rings. But
they're giving records of them. Rings to season ticket holders, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's the kind of ring you wear, though. I think it's something that you put on your desk. But back to Coach Brown. I mean, he proves every day he's an outstanding coach off the field too. I mean, he makes so many good decisions. And this past spring, we were talking about it a little bit on our show yesterday. A bunch of former players came back, to the spring game, and a friend of mine said, I didn't even know they knew who I was, but when they called my name out, they not only called my name out, they said where I was from, what position I played, and when I graduated, and went on and on about me, and I didn't even think they even knew me. I didn't think they knew me.
I mean, that's the way it should be, to be honest with you. I mean, all these guys that played, pretty much from probably the 80s until now, they were stats.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't make it over there that day, but it makes me sort of want to know what the script was about me. I was busy working over at the Alumni House and didn't get to go for that.
Yeah, you're the only 71-year-old I know that has 2 jobs still.
Well, I don't call them jobs.
You have to work pretty hard.
Hey, I call this fun. And I hope you're doing well this morning with First National Bank of Troy Brundage.
The big news nationally is Urban Meyer going to keep his job, and who will replace Urban Meyer if he does lose his job?
Gosh. You know what? And he's the number 2 guy in America. I mean, how do you? I mean.
Yeah, but all this goes back to when he was in Florida, and
Well, the same guy was it the same guy doing the bad stuff?
The same stuff was going on in Florida. First report was in 2009.
And this was an assistant coach that was
domestic violence, with his wife, and apparently things got reported from way back then. And
I mean, the assistant coach's wife.
Yeah, he didn't get fired, the actual assistant coach, until 2015.
Yeah.
So now they're saying, that Urban Meyer covered this up. And apparently his wife was even involved. The wife, that was the domestic violence happened to, was sending pictures to other coaches' wives, Urban Meyer's wife.
Boy.
I mean, it goes way back, it looks like.
Oh, man. So, somebody's in trouble.
One of those.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? Of course, it was a different time and different circumstances, but it's very similar to the Penn State problem. They held that back all those years too.
Penn State, that was numerous kids, children involved. I mean, that was one of the most.
Well, I mean, I know, but what I'm saying, it was something that was held back. That very similar to that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those type things where this situation, apparently, Urban Meyer, the guy, the assistant coach, the Smith guy, I think grandfather was Earl Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
Ohio State coach.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer and Earl Bruce were real close. I don't know. I mean, there's no reason to do what he did, but I'm just saying there must have been a real strong relationship to this guy.
Earl Bruce was a great coach, and you're right. Urban Meyer was close to Earl Bruce. That's probably how he got the job.
But, I mean, nothing will happen this year as far as if Meyer resigns or steps down, or, I don't know if he'll be fired or what will happen, but, they won't hire a coach this year. It'll go to an interim coach, and then they'll hire somebody, coming into next season. I mean, shoot, they're practicing already for the season.
Mike Crow's Chicken is being honored in a film.
I saw that. It's like a little 11-minute documentary or something.
Yeah, that's a documentary talking about Crow's Chicken, and my good friend Cheryl Crow, who brought Crow's Chicken to Troy, and he had a pizza place before he had a chicken place, and had the best stromboni sandwich, Mike, you've ever eaten, and
he had Pizza Village, and then he had Rook's.
Yeah, and then he had Rook's, and see, that was his. That's what they call him. They call him Rook. I don't know why they did it, but they call him Rook. Cheryl. Of course, I grew up with Cheryl. Of course, he's 6 years older than me, but he was my hero growing up, and it tickles me that they write about this Crow's Chicken because.
Yeah, they're talking about Robert Jones.
Yeah.
And Patsy owning the one in Brundage, and the one in Brundage is better than the one in Troy.
Well, they say the one in Brundage has the wonderful catfish on Friday and Saturdays. Have catfish, and I need to send them a bill, Mike. But of course, Cheryl they've been known for their Crow's Chicken for a long time. They've moved to North 3-Knot Street, ladies and gentlemen, but it's still.
When you're a kid, you could have walked down there all the time.
Yeah, but hey, listen, they moved to North 3-Knot Street, but let me tell you, it's the same great chicken. In fact, the other day I had some that were
actually closer to your house now than the before.
I actually had some the other day that they browned more. It was a darker chicken, and I thought it was wonderful. I mean, of course, I've always liked their chicken, and
Everybody loves their famous sauce.
Yeah.
I guess
And, well, in fact, you're exactly right. And
never released that sauce. Other than Robert and a few probably managers probably only know that sauce.
Well, and I'll tell you, their slaw is also good. But
the best thing there is, Blake Crow is one of my best friends, and when we were kids, he's like, you got to dip your chicken fingers in the mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I buy the mashed potatoes and gravy and dip my chicken fingers in the mashed potatoes.
Well, I tell you what, it's good chicken. And just think of how many Troy graduates over the last 30 years or more, and it might even be older than that, have eaten Crow's chicken and wish they had some Crow's chicken. One of the best stories, Mike, I can remember about Crow's chicken was Mike Lott told me this story, and of course, his best friend playing ball, Mike, was the head
Mackie Sasser.
Mackie Sasser, the head coach at Wallace of Dothan, and baseball coach, and of course played for the New York Mets for about 10 years with a catcher. He loved Crows so much that when they would play in Atlanta, when the Mets would play in Atlanta, and Mike would go over and visit with him and so forth, he said, "Listen, don't come without the Crow's chicken." he told him, he said, "I don't even want you to come if you don't bring me the Crow's chicken." And he loved the Crow's chicken so much. And it also, Mike claims he's actually sent it first. What is it?
They airshipped it.
One day delivery.
You can put it like on one of those little coolers.
Yeah. But it is that good, and Cheryl brought it to Troy.
The funny story is, growing up, Blake would always have birthday parties. A lot of times they'd be out at Ellis Bailey's house out at the lake out there, Youngwood Lake, and everybody loved to go to those parties because it was all you could eat rooks and all you could eat Crow's chicken fingers. So those are some of the most fun parties you could ever go to growing up.
Oh yeah, well, I tell you what,
a lot of people.
I'd like to have a dime for every well, I reckon you'd call them every Crow's chicken that Cheryl has ever donated to Troy University's athletic program.
That's how he gave back, was through chicken.
Yeah, that's right, and he gave back a bunch of chicken.
Blake would give back chicken at the fraternity house, at the SA house.
Yeah, the chicken fingers. Well, I was telling a guy yesterday, or day before yesterday, that just joined the alumni club here at Troy, and I told him, I said, Crenshaw County has Crow's chicken at every tailgate area, and there's no question about it. I mean, every tailgate party before every game, there is a huge supply of Crow's chicken, and I go by there and I get some. I ride around on my golf cart just seeing how everybody's doing, and I make it a point to drop by there or tailgate there and get some chicken.
Yeah, I often wonder what would have happened if they would have franchised, statewide.
Oh yeah, exactly, or gone nationally,
Because Guthrie's, was, of course, Guthrie's is, still several places throughout the state, and everybody always said Guthrie's was really good, and I said, well, you never tried Crow's in Troy. And I had buddies come back from the beach and stuff, and they would stop by Crow's because I told them to late at night most of the time, and they always would tell me Crow's is so much better.
Well, and Crow's is good, and they always cook with good grease, but of course, when you fry chicken there, you don't change the grease every time. So the first batch that comes out is in real clean. Boy, that is really good chicken.
Yeah, I always tell people you want to get Crow's good early in the morning.
Yeah, well, because of I mean, it's good it's good anytime now. Don't get me wrong, it's good anytime, but it's really good first thing, And
I can tell you this is the chicken business prices must have gone up, because a nugget dinner when I was a kid, which you got nuggets, 2 sides, and tea, it's probably about $7. I got it the other day and it's about $11.95.
Well, and I tell you what,
you got to pay to get those chicken fingers now.
There's a new one here in Troy out by Publix, and I was out there last night. And
I don't know why you'd ever put a chicken finger place next to Publix, because Publix has got some of the better chicken fingers you'll eat.
exactly right. But it was real. It was real good. But you know, everybody tries to compare with Crows, but it's hard to do. You know, another good friend of ours.
One of our best sponsors ever, Sisters. You know, restaurant. I think their chicken fingers are just as good as anybody's ever had.
They are real good, and I tell you what. It's a lot of it's all in the grease, you know, and of course how long you cook it and whatever.
I had some steak fingers at the Sisters that were some of the best I've ever had too.
Yeah, they're really good. You're right, exactly. We could go on and on about how good it is, and of course, you need to take a look at the Messenger today as they man had.
The best compliment the Crows is like they wrote in the articles. There's so many people that drive through that don't live in Troy anymore. They take a picture of the Crows box and say they're eating crows.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
You see that on Facebook all the time.
And you asked a former Trojan that no longer go to school here. Says, what do you remember most about Troy? They say Crow's chicken.
That's usually what I say to people. I said, you've had Crow's chicken or you've had Sisters before.
I've got the swim coach here from. He's probably fed his kids Crow's chicken before. And we got a great show for you, ladies and gentlemen. One of the great swimmers in the state of Alabama is going to be on our show, Beth Bruner, and she's got a real story to tell, and she brought her coach with her, and we look forward to a great show right after this.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts, we're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on into Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not a $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
Take you to the Olympic Games one day or to the SEC Championship.
It'll definitely take her to college, that's for sure.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and with us this morning, a young lady, and I apologize, your mama's named Beth, but this is Addison Bruner, and good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you.
And you were on this show how old were you reckon, when you first came on this show?
I was 13. 13,
and now you're...
I'm 15.
15, in what grade?
Going into 10th grade.
Going into 10th grade. And Coach, introduce yourself.
I'm Shane Tatum.
Shane Tatum, and of course, I want to call his brother is a friend of mine too, and but he's in Montgomery, and you're here.
Right.
And Shane is Addison's coach, and we're going to start with just a few things about Addison, how well she has done, but then. After this, I want to find out how she was able to train to be as good as she is. Tell us a little bit about her right now.
Well, Addison's 15, and she's done well up to this point. And so what we do in swimming is we train year-round from August to August. From August to May is normally called our high school and short course season. And so here soon we'll start getting ready for high school. Addison swims for Goshen High School in 1 to 5A. And so we'll compete till December, where we'll conclude at the state championship in Auburn in December. And then after that, we'll do club swimming, which is basically like travel ball. It's an opportunity for kids that want to stay in swimming to compete year round. And so she's progressed throughout the years in both all her sports and also in her ranking within the state.
Coach, how long have you been working with her?
I've had Addison probably since she was 9 years old.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
And that's meant a lot to you, hasn't it, Addison?
Yes, sir.
And of course, you know, to have a guy that were you experienced? You know, of course, I'm sure you were a great swimmer and maybe a diver or yourself in your own right. But how'd you become a swim coach?
Well, I went to school here from 93 to 97 at the university. And while I was there, I got involved with the Parks and Rec in 93. And so I've been coaching club swimming or Parks and Rec swimming since 1993.
Yeah. Now, another thing, too, you also ran the natatorium at the university for a while, didn't you?
Well, I continue to still do that.
Oh, you still do
I'm
that?
the director of health and wellness. So
Okay.
I have all recreation, intramurals, facilities, and stuff like that.
Coach, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Why?
He said health and wellness, so ladies and gentlemen, and we're getting a health and wellness facility coming up, and we're gonna hit two birds with one stone because a lot of people want to know what is that going up at Troy University, and no one can talk about it more,
I'll be
more
glad
than you
to.
can. But first of all, we're going to talk about this young lady, and you know, swimming. Everybody is more conscious of it around the Olympic Games and the trials, and that goes on for for months and months and months, and a young performer, boy or girl, sort of gains a reputation. So when you started working with her, how old was she?
She was 9.
She was 9. Now, was there anything special about her when she was 9 years old that jumped out at you?
I think with swimmers and with any sport that's individualized, I think you got to have that self-motivational drive. You have to have that willingness to put in a lot of work for a short race. For example, we just got back from the ARPA state championship up in Birmingham. Addison was in 3 races. The total time of those 3 races were 2 minutes, but yet she put in 30,000 yards 2 weeks before that just to race for 2 minutes. And so that's got to have a lot of dedication and determination to be able to put in that type of work for such a short period of time on a race.
When she was that young, and you were, of course, you were knowledgeable. Tell me about your background, though. Did you actually perform? I mean, were you a swimmer yourself? Or?
Well, I've always been around the water. I swam like Addie. I swam club stuff when I was younger.
At the YMCA and something like that. Were you born and raised in Montgomery, or where were you?
No. Well, we're originally from Ozark.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that. Okay.
We moved down there in '78, and so I did a lot of the normal sports. I played basketball, I played baseball. I used swimming as a conditioning in between those sports. And so when I came to Troy to go to school, I noticed they had a little club team, and so we did a little bit of that here.
Called the Tiger Sharks, is that right? I love that name. I don't know how you got that name, but it's one of the best names around.
And so I got involved with that way, and then once I graduated, I went over to Eufaula and worked for the Parks and Rec there.
And they've got a swim facility there.
Yeah, and coached there till 2005, and then when I came back to the university to work for the university in 2005, I got with Dan Smith and said I would like to help out, and I was able to help out there too. And so, and then in 2013, we started a club team at the university with, so we have kids, not only do we have kids from Troy, but we have kids from Andalusia, we have kids from Opp, we have kids from Dothan, we have kids from Montgomery, we have kids from Enterprise that travel up and train with us 4 days a week from August to May.
Well, you have really built that program.
Yep.
And it's interesting to find out, of course, you were from Ozark. Were you a military? Was
No,
your parents
no.
military?
My dad worked for Van Heusen.
I got you. And but when you first saw this young girl, you started working with her when she was
9.
9 years old. Was there anything special about her?
Well, you know, with Addison, and I mean, like I said, she's very coachable. You know, in swimming, little small technique changes can mean a lot. So when you're dealing with you know, tenths of seconds and hundredths of seconds, for example, one of her races that she won this past weekend, she won by 3/100ths of a second.
That is close, isn't it? How close is 3/100 of a second?
So,
but this was against the best in the state.
In Parks and Rec, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, when you're able to have someone, and when it's a technique sport, and be able to coach them, and they can make changes, and they can work hard at practice, it makes the coaching part a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things she has. The other thing is, I guess, is you know, Michael Phelps is probably the best known swimmer, but you know, here recently, Katie Ledecky is kind of taking that mantle on the female side.
Now tell us about her name. She was an Olympic swimmer.
She was an Olympic the last in Rio. She went to Sanford, ended up placing well in college, and now she's swimming professionally. So, but the one thing about that Katie Ledecky has, and I see in Addison, is that, you know, you want to be competitive and you want to win, but if it doesn't work out that way, you got to be able to move on to your next race. You know, some people have a tendency to linger on if they don't do well in a race. That those athletes that can, okay, we did this race, now it's done, now we got to move on to the next one, are normally the ones that succeed in the sport of swimming.
You know, I got out about that same time when she started working with them. I used to go out to the Sportsplex here at Troy, and we've got a great facility, wouldn't you say? Facility as good as anybody's, pretty much, isn't it? And I watched a little of it, and we filmed a little of it, but I noticed that this little girl was a little bit faster than that. And the reason I noticed you is because I knew your daddy. You know, your daddy came here to play football, and tell us who your daddy is.
My father is Randy Bruner.
Randy Bruner, and of course he's a pastor of a church, and of course I got to know him. So I started watching you a little bit then, and I could tell you were pretty special. But there were several other. There was another girl that was, I don't know if they're still here, but I thought was real good too. And of course you've got a few that are.
Yep. Well, that was Sarah Catherine Snellgrove.
That's right.
From Laverne. She ended up signing with Delta State in Mississippi, swim there.
College scholarship.
Yeah, she just finished her freshman year there, did real well. She's been training with me this summer to try to get ready to go back for her sophomore season. Yeah. On that team, on our club team, we've actually had a total of 4 kids sign scholarships. Yeah. We have one kid named B.J. Donaldson from Andalusia that went to Wisconsin Stephen Point. It's a D2 school. Mary Beth Baker, who's from Opp, she signed with Rhodes College up in Memphis. Yeah. And then we had another one from Andalusia called Callie Fillmore. She signed with Berry College.
Yeah. This girl I was thinking about, they lived over there on Fairview Street, and I think they self-taught. What do you call it when you don't go to school and you're homeschool? They homeschool her, and I was trying to think of who that was. I think they left Troy though. Oh. But it was fun to watch them even then. But we didn't realize, at least I didn't realize that this young lady was going to be as good as she was. But I did start watching her and watching her development. And of course, you've been working with her since she was how old again?
9.
It's 9, and does she seem to get better and better?
She does. She does. Last year was as a freshman in high school swimming. She was able to finish 3rd in one event and 2nd in the other. But after high school, we have what's called club championships. We actually went to Huntsville and competed against basically there's an LSC or a region that we compete in for club swimming, and they normally have a championship meet, and it takes the top 10% out of our region, which includes Tennessee, Alabama, Panhandle of Florida.
That's a real good tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, and so she was able to do real well there. In one of her events, she actually got nationally ranked. She was number 32 at the end of the season last year nationally.
That's in the nation. And just think of how many swimmers there are in this nation.
And so going into this season, it looks promising. Right now, as a sophomore, she's the 5th recruit in the state of Alabama as a sophomore.
Isn't that wonderful? So all these swimming coaches across the SEC and in our general area know who she is. Is that right?
They know of her, yes.
Yeah. Now, when you first got here, I do remember this. Andalusia had a real good team.
They do. They do.
And in fact, you know, it was probably better than Troy at first, wasn't it? And now Troy might have surpassed her.
Well,
right?
you know, one of the things is a lot of the Andalusia swimmers do come and train with us during the fall and the spring. And so when we first, you know, Troy had a large program in the past. So when I got back in 2005, we hovered around 20, 25.
Yeah.
Since then, we've gotten it up to about 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Nicholas Kryson does a great job out there coaching during the summer. He's actually one of my assistant coaches.
Yeah, that's very important. And you've always seemed like you have always gotten good young people that work with the program.
Oh yeah, this year there was Nicholas Kryson, a girl named Madison Brown. She's a college student. Liz Sawyer and also Jennifer Jordan were coaches out, and they did an excellent job, not only from the young group all the way up to the senior group.
Yeah. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Shane Tatum is Coach Shane Tatum and Addison Bruner. We're going to let you talk in a minute. But building up, though, you know, now you're on the staff at Troy.
I am. I'm correct.
So you're, you know, you've been able to use the natatorium there to train swimmers. Is that right?
Correct.
Facility. Did you sort of advise them a little bit on what to do with their swim program?
You talking about for the
rec program? You know.
Yeah, and I work with Dan on that, and also, you know, basically what we've done is Nicholas has taken the formula and organization that we have for our winter program out to the summer program.
Sure.
And so that way that the kids that do compete on the winter program, when they go out to the summer program, they're able to get the same training. One of the things that I've always done is when we created the winter program is that I required my kids to swim in the summer program to support that program out there too. So if you look at the 35 that they had this year, 18 of them come from the winter program.
Yeah. Bigger towns like Dothan, like Montgomery, Birmingham, Mobile, Huntsville. Is that so pretty much?
That's correct.
And of course, you know, that means that she would have to go to Montgomery to train or go to Dothan to train. Right now, she's able to train right here in Troy. Is that right?
Yes.
And you have developed a training facility pretty much here. Is that right? Correct. All right. Now, what I've always heard about her from the very get-go is you love to swim.
I do.
You love the water.
I do, absolutely.
Is that part of it right there? Do you really got to love it?
Well, you got to think about it. So in an average training week, she's in the water 8 hours a day, or 8 hours a week, 2 hours of practice, looking at a black line.
Yeah. And most of your friends are not swimmers, is that right?
That is correct.
And of course, when you first started swimming, of course, your mom and daddy are athletes, both of them.
They are.
And you know, and they found a niche, something that you wanted to do. Everybody doesn't swim like you do, and so really, it had to be something you wanted to do. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And how did you realize that you were a pretty good swimmer when you were young?
When I was a kid, I loved to swim. I always loved to be near water and swimming. I used to play soccer, and I realized that wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
And so when I learned that once we moved back to Troy, and I found out that there was a swim team, I wanted to be on it immediately.
Now, her going to homeschool, she had more time to train. Is that right?
Well, we did a little bit of that, but mostly what she does is she does the same training that we have for every other kid that comes in at night.
Yeah.
One of the things that she was able to do was take advantage of the Tim Tebow rule and being able to swim for Goshen High School.
Exactly.
So I started a team out there 4 years ago. Currently, we have Addison on there, Dallas Daughtry, and then my son Bryce is on there.
That goes to Goshen, is that right? That's great.
And so we started with one swimmer, Bryce, and then over the years we've gotten it up to 3.
Yeah. And of course, now I know you got excited. I reckon when you started, you started competing. Now, you started when you were 9,
yes,
and
sir.
then did you start competing right away?
We trained for a little while,
Yeah.
and then how it works in that season is you train for a month or 2, and then the meets, they come later on in the season.
Okay, tell us what you excel in. What are the events that you excel in? And Coach, you tell us a little bit about how she's developing.
One of the best strokes that I swim is breaststroke.
Breaststrokes, would that be this right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so you're dipping, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And if you want to know who was great with that, the great swimmer of all time, that's what he did, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Well, Phelps was more of a universal. One of the things that I've done with Addie, or try to do with Addie, is that make her proficient in all the strokes.
Yeah.
Make her more marketable if she decides to go swim in college.
Sure.
You always have your specialty stroke, but in college swimming, it's a lot about what the coaches need on that team. And so if you have a specialty stroke, that's good, but if you can do other strokes, that's good too.
Yeah.
And so Addison's one of her best stroke that gives her a lot of advantage over people is her breaststroke.
Yeah.
But she's also quite well in 200 IM, which is individual medley, which basically means you swim 50 yards of each discipline. And so she did real well in that last year.
All right. So you 50 yards regular swimming.
Well, you do
is that
butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle all in one race.
all in one race? So you go 50 like this, and then you go back and do another one. And is that fun?
It is. It's a lot of fun.
All right.
It's a hard race to swim, but it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, what is she best at? Is there anything where she's best at?
It's her breaststroke. That's what's going to set her apart from most.
All right. Sort of show us the motion. Everybody seems like everybody has a swimming pool now. They have kids out there that swim, and some of them just love the water. And you see, gosh, that's a good swimmer. I saw my little 4-year-old granddaughter. I said, gosh, she sure is a good swimmer. Well, that's the way it sort of happens sometimes, isn't that right? Show us the motion on a breaststroke.
It's just like this, and then you come out.
Right there.
In the blue cap.
Boy, oh boy. Now what is she doing?
She's making a turn to come back. This is 50 yards. 25 down and 25.
Oh, I got you. Gosh, that's a good stroke. She is dominating that race, isn't she? And where was this held, Coach?
Up at the Birmingham Crossplex.
And this is one of the best swimmers in the state were there, weren't
Parks
they?
and Rec, correct.
Now, were you running in your age group? Is that it? Look, there it is.
She went 32.7. She has gone.
How good is that? Is it in an age group or?
This one's in an age group. High school swimming is done by areas like 1 to 5As. Mm-hmm. But in her age group, a 29 put her number 1 in the state.
Uh-huh. So, and then will be a sophomore next year. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're now 14 years old.
I'm 15.
15 years old. Okay, excuse me. And okay, so now is that all the footage we have?
Cap again. This is the one where she won by 3/100ths of a second.
So that's a real good competitor you're going against. Is that right?
Yeah, she's from Scottsboro.
The rec director of Scottsboro used to be a friend of mine. I don't know if he's still there or not.
Ricky Nance.
Ricky Nance,
Yeah.
exactly. Is he still there?
No.
But and then she won that race, and of course when that hand hits.
Yep. 26.34. Oh, 2/100ths of a second. She won 26.34. The other girl went 26.36.
Did you know it was going to be tough?
I did.
Could you see her out of the side of your eyes? Could you see her?
The whole race, yes, sir.
And did it motivate you?
It did a lot.
And was she older or younger than you, your opponent?
I think we're the same age.
They're the same age. They're 15.
So she's already. We've watched her win 2 events already. Is that right?
Well, she's actually for Parks and Rec swimming. She's won 7 state titles.
Isn't that something?
From that time that she was 11 years old, she won 2 when she was 11 years old. She won 3 when she was 13, and then she won 2 this year.
Yeah. Of course, your parents have to go along with, take you to different events and take you to practice and so forth. And you have become very close not only to this young lady but to her parents. Is that right?
Correct. I mean, it takes a group effort.
Yeah.
The coaches and the parents need to be on the same wavelength, and along with the swimmers.
Yeah. Something else that you can't help but notice is the explosion and the strength it takes. What do you think? I mean, what separates a regular swimmer and somebody that's really good?
Well,
like her?
Not only do you do water training, but you do weightlifting, you do stretching, you do the nutrition side of it. You can only get so strong in the water, and then you have to get out on land. It's just like with any sport. If you're not doing the work outside the pool along with the inside the pool, you're not going to get the results that you want.
Yeah, have you studied swimming yourself personally to make you even a better coach? Has she made you a better coach?
Well, I think anytime you're a coach and you don't try to better yourself, not only with practice techniques or learning about the sport itself, you're going to get, kind of leveled off. And so I tried, not only with her, but with all of them, is to try to bring in new things and different things. And, being involved with the sport since '93, you do have a wide array of connections with individuals out there.
And that's what you can be thankful for, that you've got a knowledgeable coach right there at your doorstep. And, of course, you live here in Troy, don't you? And, the only thing, now listen, I don't have anything against Goshen. Goshen's fine, but gosh, I sure wish she said she's from Troy, Alabama. but she's from Goshen, and Goshen is getting some exposure here.
They are.
People are saying, where's Goshen? Man, where do they have a swim team?
Well, I was very thankful for Bart Snyder and also Coach Lane out there when I did approach them and talked about adding a sport, and one of the things was that I told them, I said, look, this doesn't cost anything to have this sport. I'll be willing to coach it. My wife will be willing to be the school representative for it. I said, but I think there's a need.
So she teaches that your wife teaches at Goshen?
She teaches at Goshen Elementary
Now
School.
I know the rest of the story, don't I?
Yeah, she's been there for 17 years. And so,
oh, boy.
We enjoy being out in that area, but it also gives an opportunity for kids like Addison and Dallas and Bryce to have a sport that, most kids don't want to play football and basketball and baseball. Yeah. And so it just gives them another opportunity. And Goshen was willing to go forward with that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. And of course, we're going right out of commercial, but the commercial is up in your corner right there. But all right, you swim with girls. You compete against girls, but at practice and every day you end up swimming against guys, don't you?
There's a good bit of guys on our team.
Is she very competitive even against the guys?
I think yeah, she is, and they have to be. They have to push each other in the pool.
So it's really not that much difference in a girl and a boy in swimming. Is that right?
There's a little bit, depending on the age of the kid. But if say I have like my son's 17, and so he pushes Addie, and Addie pushes him.
Yeah.
And so it's a good competitive balance in there. But you do have some male swimmers that are stronger than female swimmers. But then in the same token, you have some female swimmers that are a lot stronger than some of the male swimmers.
Exactly. Of course, one thing I've always heard about you, you love the water. You love doing this. But now, is this keeping you away from other cheerleading or soccer or any other sports? Have you have decided to just participate in one sport? Is that right?
Yes, I decided I wanted to put all of my time and effort towards swimming.
Yeah.
Because that's my passion.
Exactly. What makes her get better, Coach? Does strength have a lot to do with it? Physical strength.
Well, as she matures and as she ages and as she works out, increase her ability in swimming.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, you know, swimmers are like baseball pitchers or baseball hitters and stuff like that. Is, you know, you can go through slumps, but, you know, a lot of swimming is mental.
Yeah.
And so if you have that mental aspect of it, you can break through.
Now let me ask you this. Stand up if you don't mind. All right. She's taller than most of her friends, probably. How tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
No, well, she's not so. So, are a lot of swimmers are taller?
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
And a lot of swimmers, you know, have more wingspan. Is that right?
Right. And so a lot of height is a very coachable aspect of swimming.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, height is height. But there are swimmers that have not 6'1", 6'2", 5'11", in the females that have done quite well. And that's the thing about swimming is you can, you know, there's no typical body frame for a swimmer.
Yeah. Do we have any more footage? Do we have any more footage on her? Is that all?
That's all.
Is that all? Let's see the footage one more time, Steve. Can we? We're gonna do it one more time. I hope you've got a little time this morning. Do you? You got to be.
sir,
You got to be out of here.
work.
Okay. What time you got to get? Can you give me 10 more minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. This is wonderful right here now. This is big time swimming right here in Birmingham. Now what is this now? This is the.
Breaststroke.
And she just dominated this race. Are other schools with swimming programs trying to recruit her? I ought to ask your daddy. Has anybody asked you to move to Birmingham, Huntsville? Coach, you really feel like she definitely has a future in swimming?
She does.
I mean, so right now, if she keeps on the same level she is and she gets better and better, she'll have a chance to go to college free. Is that right?
Well, yeah, that's an opportunity out there.
And there are not that many swim programs out there, but I know Auburn, SEC, most all of them have good swim programs, don't they?
Not only in the Sun Belt, we have one at Arkansas State, we have one at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of D2 schools around that have great programs.
And of course now, you know, our natatorium is now here we go here.
That's the butterfly.
That was a butterfly. And I know it made you proud. Coach, you know, the old saying, chill bumps. Did you ever get chill bumps when you see her excel?
With her and with all of them, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
And so, you know, you just hope that you did it right. You prepared them up for it. I mean, you can't swim the race for them, but you hope that you've got them ready to go.
Tell us about him. I mean, let me tell you, it's very important that you have a coach that knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
All right, tell us about him.
All right, what you want to know?
Well, just tell him what he means to you, and tell him, you know, anything about him as a coach that you like or you don't like.
Okay. I met Coach Shane when I was 9 years old, and the first thing that stuck out to me was he pushed us very hard. He wanted us. I noticed that he wanted us to succeed, and as a coach, that's what I value most about him. He wants us to succeed.
Yeah.
And he wants us to do good. He wants us at our best ability as to where we can go.
Does he try to fire you up, trying to motivate you?
He does. He has his own way of doing it.
Yeah.
Most coaches.
Of course, he's a competitor himself, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Most coaches will get you all like riled up, but he's he takes a more calm approach to it, and he just basically gives you a calmer.
Yeah. Coach, I'm a big thing about I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's big in swimming too. You got to believe you can win. Is that right?
Correct.
Are you good about I believe that you believe you're the best?
Yes, sir. I think that if you don't mentally know and think that you are good and you're just beating yourself down all the time, you won't succeed.
So, Coach, right now you got her pretty much excelling in 3 events. Is that right?
Right.
Are you going to try to, like you mentioned earlier, are you going to try to get her more involved in other events?
Like this year, we actually branched out. At ARPA, we did 2 new events that we normally don't do, just to kind of see where we're at. She's got work on her backstroke, but that's going to help her in her IM. And so if we can fix the backstroke and get that up to where we're at on the other strokes, it'll be a deadly combination.
Are you willing to accept that challenge?
Absolutely.
And you're excited?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it something that, but everybody doesn't love swimming, but you love swimming. I mean, yes, you know, they do it as a recreation thing, but this is hard work. This is 6 and 8 hours a day sometimes. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's 4 days a week, 2 hours of every practice of being in the water and looking at a black line. And I mean, it is a team, but it's also an individual sport. It's like track and field.
Most swimmers you see have, correct me if I'm wrong, square shoulders. Am I right by that?
They have that diamond.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the swimming sort of, develop that.
It does.
Develop that,
It does.
those muscles and that type.
Swimming does a lot of toning. A lot of swimmers look ripped or real muscular.
Yeah.
But if they're not doing the work on outside the pool with strength training, they're not very strong. So I say swimming does a lot of toning, but it doesn't build a lot of strength.
Of course, your dad's out there, and of course, what a great guy he is, and he is so proud of you and so happy. And of course, the parents have to go along with this because I mean, this guy wants my daughter to be in the pool all these hours and whatever.
Yeah.
You hear that. I'm
well,
sure.
yeah. Randy and Beth have been very supportive. They've helped out tremendously on the mental side with Addie. They have allowed me to just handle the training part of it, which is a great combination. And one of the things I always say about both of them is that they let me coach her the way I want to coach her.
First of all, do you feel like she's special?
She is. She's going to be good.
And of course, her desire to compete and her desire, you have a goal. What is your goal?
My goal is one day to go to the Olympics and compete.
Coaches, she got that kind of ability to
I
one
think
day
she's
go
got
to
the
the
drive.
Olympic
Yeah,
Games?
I think she's got the drive.
So, I mean, if she was out there in California, that's where a lot of them trained out there in California, UCLA, different places like that. I reckon there's other training sites.
Well,
but would she stand out if she was a young girl out in California?
Yeah, I mean, she's going to stand out wherever she goes, regionally. That's the thing about swimming. It's not about who your coach is or what you're doing. It's about a time.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on Today in LA. You got any questions?
Man, I was just calling back in.
Okay, Mike, I have Addison Bruner, the outstanding swimmer that's growing up right here in Troy out at the Sportsplex. That's her second home. And I got Shane Tatum, Mike, who is an excellent swim coach. And the thing is, we can be so proud of is that we do have an experienced swim coach on board. Most young people don't have that opportunity. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got a little bit of experience on there, but I also think that it's a group effort. I mean, you've got to, with the assistant coaches that I have that have come up through the program that are teaching kids the right way, it's only developing a stronger program. So by the time that they get to me, they've already learned the fundamentals, and I'm not having to re-coach them in aspects of it.
Now, hey, you're a sophomore in high school, and I know I can't just jump into that subject, but of course your goal is to swim in college at a good program.
Yes, sir.
And they're good programs even in the Ivy League. Of course, your academics can go along with that. But what are some of the better programs right now? Do you feel like that if she does get a scholarship, that you can get her in a place where she can train?
Well, I mean, the thing about swimming is it's about a need that they need on the team. And also in swimming is you don't have to be at a D1 school to go to the NCAA championships. You can be at a D2 school and make a qualifying time and go. And so a lot of D2 schools have stronger swim programs than most D1 schools. For example, there's a junior college in Florida called Indian River.
I've heard of it.
That have produced the most Olympic champions out of a junior college. And so we've got a lot of good programs. West Florida has a women's program. They're D1 now. Like I said, Georgia Southern.
That's not far.
Georgia Southern has a D1 program. They're pretty competitive. Arkansas State has a female program. And then so Birmingham Southern has a D2 program. In Mississippi, you have Delta State that's ranked 10th in the nation in D2 swimming. So it is great to go D1, but D2 can give you those opportunities too.
Okay, the new wellness center.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, firsthand, this is the guy that's really overseeing the building of this facility. the wellness center.
Yeah.
If we build it the way we want to build it, could Troy one day have a swim program?
Well, I hate to bring bad news, but it does not have an indoor pool at the wellness center. It has an outdoor pool. We're going to keep the natatorium. We're going to renovate the natatorium. About having a team, I know there's Addie would like for a team to be here, but I don't know any plans about that aspect of it.
Tell us what's going to be in this wellness center, Coach.
Well, it's 80,000 square feet. It's going to be 3 stories. You're going to have 2 basketball courts, some fitness equipment on each floor. You're going to have some workout rooms. You're going to have a spin room. You're going to have a lounge, a cafe, and then, of course, an outdoor pool.
And it will be a nice outdoor facility?
Yeah.
But now, will it be Olympics? I mean,
no, the outdoor pool is just going to be a regular residential leisure type activity.
So it's not going to be anything that would be conducive for college.
No, we'll still have the indoor pool at the natatorium.
But it's going to be real nice. So
it is.
A lot of very nice weight facilities, indoor track, and
it's going to have a walking track that encompasses the whole building.
Yeah, exactly. You excited about it?
I'm very excited.
Are you going to run that? Is that going?
Yes, sir.
Boy, that's a great honor.
Well, I think it's going to be great that it's going to be.
So is Sartain Hall a dust now, or is it still up?
August the 13th, Sartain Hall come down. So what we did.
Doesn't that sort of break your heart in a way?
It
of course,
is,
you've been around it all your life.
You know, I've been around here since the late 80s. But I mean, the thing is that we built the new rec center in the parking lot. There were 225 parking spots there.
So that's going to be a parking.
And then where Sartain's at right now, we're going to build a new parking lot there with 250 spots.
Good.
So we're going to gain a few more spots there. But yeah, it's currently still standing, but it's supposed to come down August the 13th.
Now the renovation of the natatorium, which is a nice facility, but it is an older facility.
It was built in 1976, and so.
Is it 50 or 25?
It's 25 yards.
Is that what most of them are, or most of them are 50?
Some are 50 meters, but here in the South, we don't need the need for a 50-meter pool, so 25 yards is sufficient.
Mike, your cousin swims for what in Atlanta?
My cousin?
Your cousin from Bowles High School.
I'm not sure if she went for Atlanta. I mean, she went to
No. What is Atlanta? The great medical school there in Atlanta.
Georgia Tech?
No, Emory.
Emory's a good program.
Yeah, she swims for Emory, which would be I mean, what I'm saying, that's just one of many, but what a great school that is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And not only will you have an opportunity to swim in college, but get a great education one day.
So I mean, what's Auburn known for? What are they known for as far as swimming? Aren't they pretty much one of the most dominant programs, Auburn in Florida?
Well, Auburn used to be when David Marsh was there.
The coach left, Mike.
Yeah, and Brett Hawk came, and they're doing well. But right now, Florida was good because they had Caleb Dressel, which is now graduated. And then their coach retired. Georgia's got a good program right now. Alabama's got a strong program right now.
And they're in an older facility unless they built something. Isn't that right?
Yeah. They're about to build something really nice with I was told.
So I mean, Auburn's still there. At one time, they won 16 SEC championships, 6 national titles. But David Marsh left and went to North Carolina to do a club team, but Florida's there too. Exactly.
Who's your hero in swimming? It's got to be some girl out there. I mean, somebody you really admire.
Katie
Ledecky, of course. She's the best in the world, isn't she? Or is she?
Yeah, she is the best right now.
Yeah.
I don't swim her races, but I admire her drive and who she is.
Yeah, exactly. Of course,
wasn't there a girl a few years ago that was like 17 or something like that, Missy Franklin?
Yeah, Missy went to Cal. She went to Cal and didn't have a really good season, hurt her shoulder. Now she's going back to Colorado to train with her former coach and hopefully get back into form.
Well, as far as being an amateur, I mean, that's something that you have to decide. I mean, if you want to go pro, I guess, or stay an amateur. I mean, as far as, I guess, money and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Ledecky, though, even though she's a pro, she can still compete. Is that right?
No, she's signed with Speedo, and so her college days are done.
I know, but how about the Olympic?
Yeah, she can still compete.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
But in college swimming, a lot of kids do go to college for 1 or 2 years, but then they sign pro if they're on that upper level of swimming. There's not a lot of money out there. You know, I equate swimming like golf, Tiger Woods effect. No one was making money until Tiger Woods got there.
That's right.
No one was making money in swimming until Michael Phelps came
That's
in.
right.
And so he's enabled swimming to get some more money there.
Exactly right.
But
have you ever personally seen Phelps live?
I have.
It's a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
He's like, I mean, you know, man swimming with boys,
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Now, most of the Olympic girls, most of them are taller than she is, but you're still growing, though. Isn't she still growing?
Well, you know, the 100 breaststroke gold medalist, Lily King's, is only a few inches taller than her.
No, I was wondering about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, professionally, has this enhanced your career?
I don't know. You know, the thing is, like I said, I've been involved with it since '93. I don't care if people know who I am. I'd rather have the kids. I'd rather have the kids perform and do well.
Yeah. But you're having people come to you say, "Shane, will you coach my kids?"
Yes.
You're having more of that. You have enhanced a lot of people to want to go into swimming.
Right.
You built the program. I mean, swimming is getting to be a big thing now, a bigger thing. Are some of your friends wanting to swim?
Yes, actually. I've had a couple of them join the team.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And so, you know, and one of the things I always said is I want to try to leave it better than when I got in it. Yeah. And so that time is coming to an end.
That's right. You're getting to be retirement age, aren't you?
I am. I've said I'll stay 3 more years, you know, in the swimming coaching stuff, and then after that I'm.
Okay, so work ethic, it's almost, you got to have great work ethic. Would you say that's the main thing? I would say so. You got to be determined. You got to be committed. You got to want to do a sport that's not very popular among your friends. Yeah, that's right. They say, I can't go to the party because I gotta train. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the biggest things. Some of your friends are not going to relate to what you do. Yeah. They're not going to understand that you cannot go to this birthday party this weekend because you're going to be in Birmingham at a meet for 2 days. Yeah. She's special as an individual, though. You can tell she really wants it. Have you ever thought you were going to burn out? Do they burn out any, like they do in some other sports? Well, they do. And you know, one of the things that I do, the way our club's set up is that you have a bronze group, which is the lower group. You have a silver group, which are a little bit better. And then you have what I call my group, which is the gold and the senior group. And so in my gold and senior group is just kids that have swam for multiple years. But what I do is I incorporate time off throughout the season. And you know, some of them don't like it when they have to take time off, but it's a way for them to re-energize and to refocus and get going. Somebody told me you got a new set of glasses for Christmas. Not regular glasses, but swim glasses. Coach, it's been a pleasure. Well, thank you. And I am so proud of this young lady. And I know when you see that smile, it can't help it, but you got to be hard-nosed too sometimes, don't you? I do. I'm not a yeller. They'll tell you I don't yell, but when I do, you're not a yeller or a screamer, are you? But when I do, it means business. But when he said something, you need to listen, don't you? Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, she gonna get better and better, Coach. She is. How far away is she from SEC or college ability? Right now, for a D1 standard for 100 breasts, which one of her stroke is, she's at a 104. Most college seniors are swimming 101, 102. That's not far away then, is it? So, and I know, if you were my daughter, I'd be awfully proud of you, mainly because that you're setting a goal, and of course you've got other goals in your life. You're a good student, is that right? Yes, sir. Make good grades, and you are a good learner. Is that right? Yes, sir. Academics are very important. Well, that's something. Of course, again, Coach, you're trying to develop her into more different. Right now you excel sort of in 3. Right. 3, and you want her to excel in how many? 4. 4, and then you're ready to go. Let her loose. What does your summer look like? Or when's the next big meet? September 22nd, we head to Birmingham, and then we're preparing for sectionals, high school sectionals, which will be at
in Mobile at Bishop State, and then we'll go to Auburn on December the 1st for high school state.
Oh boy, I would love to know about those, and I'd like to go. It's a good spectator sport.
At Auburn's a great area, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It will. And hopefully we'll have a state championship this year.
And we're gonna be watching her very closely. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Today in L.A. You got to go teach class, don't you?
I do. I got to go to work.
And again, when is the Wellness Center going to be
Hopefully
completed?
August of 2019, maybe.
Well, that's about a year from now.
It is.
And do you like the way things are going right now?
I do. We're progressing along. There's no major delays, and so if we can't stay on this schedule, hopefully we'll be done.
The old natatorium, you took down the high dives, which was very few high dives in the country like that. So no diving facilities anymore, but are y'all going to add that back? Or what are you going to do?
No more diving boards.
But you will have a nice indoor facility there.
Hopefully, yeah, once they get it renovated.
Yeah, and Steve Flowers said he used to go swim there almost every day.
I enjoyed seeing him.
It's a great sport, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, and
it's a lifelong sport.
Real good for people that need to be in.
Whatever happened to the guy that was there for years and all growing up, Bill Gospel? Where's he at now?
You remember Bill? Do you remember Bill?
Yeah, he moved to Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Bill made Michael one time go down to the bottom of the pool and sit there for how long, Mike?
That was when I was doing scuba class.
I know it, but that was quite a event, no question about it.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more of Today in LA. Good luck to you, young lady.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Napa Know-How. Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time. Know-how. Napa Know-How. The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.